The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. African leaders, as we say, are the problems of Africa. The United States of America is doing everything in their interest. Everybody that is coming into the African continent is here for one thing, for their interest. But it's only the African who doesn't have interest. So we don't fight for our interest. All we think about is what will please this person. Whenever we see, like Joshua Mamponga will say, when we see Yellow Popo, because they presented their girl to us in their color, when we want to do something to them, we think that we are going to be hurting the God that they brought to us. So we always allow these people to come here and do anything at all that they want. Just look at what they are talking about. Their interest, how to still put the African under control. That is what matters to them. And African leaders, according to him, according to Mr. Poker, we don't want to do business with any other person except the United States of America. They are the best, yes. And that is why Africa is where it is. The democratic elected are not willing to move out of oppression. See, they love oppression. They eat oppression. So they think that when they move out of oppression, something will happen to them. And that is the reason to which these ones are not willing to move away from these people that are suppressing us. We've seen that Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have cut ties with the West. And look at the development that we are seeing. These people are thinking about how to protect themselves, their interests.
Cannot disregard the malign activities of China, Russia, and other foreign actors across the continent. We cannot only look at Africa through the lens of the great power competition. It's important that we as America affirm our larger values, because if we ignore Africa's connection to our future, to America's future security, to America's future prosperity on its own merits, then we do so at our own peril. The continent of Africa is an indispensable set of opportunities and interconnections that are vital. And one great example of that is that Africa has this extraordinary future ahead of us. As a growing population of youth, and by 2050, 1 in 4 people on the planet Earth will be from Africa. And because of the youth bulge there, 1 in every 3 working age human beings on the planet Earth by 2050 will be from Africa. I have found great partnership over the years with Secretary Rubio when he was a senator. He has been someone who has understood the urgencies of the continent, especially through the context of that great power struggle. He looked and has said many times that people are the continent's most important advantage. And the U.S. policy towards Africa, according to our now Secretary of State, is to double down on our investments in our partnerships with African people. Not only will this approach directly benefit the United States, but it will undercut the PRC's influence by ensuring that the United States is the trusted partner of choice. You see, our values are our advantage. I've talked to so many African leaders, as I know my more eminent colleague Chris Coons has, and many of them tell us they don't want to deal with China. They prefer us, but China is showing up in places we are not, making connections and partnerships that we are not. If we are going to compete there, let's compete with our American values. They will win every single time. So, Ambassador, I share your interests in expanding trade with Africa countries and increasing U.S. commercial investments and connections between America and African businesses. When I go to Africa, I meet with Americans doing business there all of the time, and it's extraordinary. The upside, it is an emerging market that's going to, again, with that population growth, be vital for American-made products, American technology, American innovation. This is a place where America should be leaning in to thrive. However, we need a coherent strategy in order to take advantage of this extraordinary opportunities. And I'm concerned that the many Trump executive orders on tariffs and subsequent reversals suggest that no strategy really exists. And more importantly, the idea that the United States should not focus on commercial deal making while ignoring stabilization issues, humanitarian need issues, and increasing good governance is really short-sighted and undermines the potential upside for Americans and American businesses. Right now, China has eclipsed Russia as the largest weapons exporter to sub-Saharan Africa. Chinese drones, armed vehicles, firearms have flooded conflict zones from Sudan to West Africa and the Sahel. China's largest weapons producer, Norinco, has established regional offices in Nigeria, South Africa, Angola, and Senegal. China's security ties to Africa transcend more than just weaponry as direct training and tactical information sharing increases. African governments, particularly those dealing with the threat of violent extremism, say they want to deepen their security and information sharing apparatus with the United States. So what is our strategy here? Commercial diplomacy is vital, but alone it will not get us to where we need to be. Further, should the rumors about potential dismantling of U.S. commands like AFRICOM occur, this will directly undermine our interests and cede further space to China in Africa. So to say that I'm concerned about the Trump administration's policies to date is a vast understatement. My private conversations, again, with our Secretary of State make me understand that he knows the importance and urgency of the work that I am discussing. But since January, the Trump administration has undercut our partnerships across the continent and ceded ground to China at every turn. The United States right now is taking a sledgehammer not only to these vital programs that have been supported in a bipartisan way that have unified our Foreign Relations Committee, it is also taking a sledgehammer to U.S. credibility. This is something that is vital. In business, reputation is everything. The Trump administration has dealt a double blow now, ceding moral ground and losing strategic influence on top of undermining America's values and how they are embraced by by African nations. We've created a vacuum that our competitors are showing they're willing to fill. In fact, they're racing to fill it. Not just China, but Russia, Iran, and others are stepping up on their Africa engagement and investments. These regimes do not bring hope. They bring surveillance, coercion, instability, and greater threats to the United States' security, safety, and prosperity. The United States strategy across Africa has never been perfect. We can do better. We can do better than we did in the past, better than what Trump is doing now, better than what previous administrations have done. Certainly, though, with China and their plans and their investments, we need to step up.
How to keep suppressing us, and we are not thinking about how we will liberate ourselves from them and to move the continent ahead. How we'll change things. Ours is to go and stand there during AU summit, then preach how we want to change the continent. But we've seen that words are not actions. Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have changed the narrative within the shortest possible time in their respective countries. Yet we are still here practicing democracy for decades. No show. The little that we have ended up losing all. And we are happy and proud to still be working with the people that are not doing anything possible to help us grow. They are always thinking about their future. And they are talking about the growth of Africa. The population in 2050, Africa is going to lead in terms of population. And these people are doing everything possible to work against that population. And the democratic elected are the ones that are allowing them to come into the continent and work against that. Today they are targeting our food. They are targeting our medication. Everywhere these people are not allowing us to be. Even the water bodies, everything is destroyed. This is the agenda. Even if our leaders were not aware, but I think that some of them are aware, but everybody is scared. Like General Simigweta, why are we afraid? What are we scared of? The democratic elected because their gatekeepers are always thinking about what they will make out of the situation. What are they getting? That's all that matters to them. And not what will benefit all the population. This one will come with this manifesto, another person will come with that, and we've seen that for years. This has been the story. It is we, the youth, that can actually set ourselves free. We have to fight for the better Africa we are looking for. There is no one that will come and do that for us. Like General Simigweta is calling on us. It is a message that we all have to wake up. The time is now. We cannot allow the next generations that will come to come and inherit this kind of Africa. There should be a change. And we are the only ones that can bring that change. We have to set the other generations free. We have a long way to go. And a very huge tax on our shoulders. And we all have to come together and fight for that better Africa we are looking for. Nobody will do it for us. Democracy will not do it for us. The leaders we've elected can never do it for us because they are there to serve their masters. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world. In the United States of America,